A quick disclaimer before I get into the rest of this video. This series, though a short one, will not be your normal documentary that you might find about the Cold War between the USSR and the USA. No, this won't be about the tensions between the two countries. This will be a series where I explore the horrors, the fears, and perspectives of all the smaller countries, the almost insignificant ones, you could say. I would be diving deep into what these people experienced, how they lived, how they feared these governments that would do anything to take the other down. In this series, I'll be talking not about the guns, the fighting, the missiles, the nukes, but about the people that endured it all. However, before I get into this story, almost, of these people, you'll need to understand a few terms I'll be using throughout these videos. If you feel like you know these terms, feel free to skip ahead to the time I'll be showing on screen. Number 1, the USSR. The USSR, sometimes known as the Soviet Union, is officially the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or modern-day Russia, or Soviet Russia. Number 2, capitalism. Capitalism is an economic and political system where a country's industry is controlled by private owners for profit and gain. Number 3, communism. You've probably heard of it before, and it's a political system where everything is owned and distributed by the state. Number 4, the Eastern Bloc. The Eastern Bloc during the Cold War was a collection of countries in Eastern Europe controlled by the USSR after the invasion of Nazi Germany. The USSR used these states as sort of a buffer state in case the West tried to push towards the USSR itself. This extended until East Germany and East Berlin under the Potsdam Agreement. They held Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Yugoslavia as well, along with many others. 5th, the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was a concrete barrier along with multiple other fortifications constructed by the USSR, built all around West Berlin, cutting it off from surrounding East Germany. And these are all the terms that you'll need to know inside and out to understand what this series will be about. So, let's set up this story. It's 1945. The world is still reeling from the catastrophe that is World War II. Nazi Germany is left in ruins with world superpower armies marching throughout Europe. Japan has just been subject to two of the world's most powerful weapons of destruction, atomic bombs. New generations of jet planes, such as the Me-262 and the MiG-15, soar through the sky, and an impending rivalry starts to take shape. On one side of this war-torn Europe, the rising power of the communist USSR. On the other side of the Atlantic, the very country that dropped those atom bombs on Japan is the capitalist United States. This rivalry between the two superpowers has always existed, but it will never be as heated as this new era, the Cold War. Let's dive a bit deeper into this and go back a few months. Nazi Party leader Adolf Hitler has committed suicide in his bunker in his capital, Berlin, and many of his high-ranking officers follow suit as the Red Army walks into the once grand city above them as their defenses fall apart. This city, the head of the German monster that devastated Europe in World War II, has finally been cut. However, this will not be the end of this city's story in the 20th century. In fact, it might have only just begun. As American, British, and Canadian troops roll through Western Europe, wiping out any pockets of leftover German resistance, Soviet troops take Berlin and the Baltic states. German General Alfred Jodl of the German High Command has signed unconditional surrender of all German forces. The Wehrmacht is disassembled and the great German monster is put to rest. Japan, the last remaining Axis power in the world, reels from the destruction in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and soon surrenders. Now with the Second World War finished, the world feels a sense of calm. But soon they will find that this very sense of calm, after what could be called the most devastating war in human history, is under a false pretense. Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union, this new rising superpower in the East, is bent on keeping the countries he has so-called liberated from Nazi control. At first, citizens have cheered on the Soviet troops as they advance through their countries, liberating them from the Nazis. But soon they will come to realize that these troops are not here to free them. These troops are here to stay. At the Potsdam Conference 1945, the three world leaders meet in Potsdam, Germany, and discuss terms. They split Germany, Austria, and Berlin into 4 zones. One for France, one for the USSR, one for Great Britain, and one for the USA, with all the Western countries' parts being merged into one later. However, it was not so simple for the people living in Germany and Austria. These people, though divided in the past, were now divided. Officially, borderly, countryly, politically, didn't matter. These citizens that had just endured a brutal and devastating war, that had just survived, traumatized, had been divided again in just 6 years. Families were torn, old friends now enemies. Over the next few episodes, I'll explore the lives of these people living in constant fear of nuclear warfare, torn between 2 of the most powerful nations on the globe.